Hello, welcome. If you're watching the replay, thank you. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And I have a lot of regulars watching all of my content, especially on the replay where they're not live and called out by other individuals in the stream. And y'all don't give any credit, which suppresses my content. So if those of you, hello, Anna, hello, Holly. Um, so if that applies to you, please go ahead and if you enjoy my content, support it by liking, sharing, all of the things. And if you don't, may you not prosper from my content, period. Um, your girl's in a mood today, if you could not tell. Okay. Hi, Ben. Hello. Hello. Welcome, you guys. Thank you guys all for supporting me. I am not talking to you guys with that statement, but in my stats, like I see people who have been a part of the community for quite a while that benefit from my content but do not exchange. They don't keep it reciprocal. So if you are here just to benefit from my content without helping to support me, then it is my intention that you don't benefit from my content any further. So now that that is out of the way, sorry on the phone, but watching. That's okay, Holly. Thank you. I know you're always here, always supporting, and I love you. I love all of you guys, even the ones who don't support. I love you too, but you're not going to continue to benefit from me if you are not also supporting me. So that's why I quit doing the live streams. Part of the reason why I did stop doing streams for so long is because there are people that only come to suckle from, my pond of knowledge, but don't want to reciprocate. So reciprocity is important. I teach that all the time. And if you've been watching, you should know that. And if you want to continue to benefit, then you're going to reciprocate. End of story. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. We've got some shit that's, coming up in the cards, which is probably why I'm taking on this energy, because we need to allow it to come to the surface so we can recognize it, so we can heal and integrate, and that we can move forward. Um, Always being orchestrated by your higher self. The higher self is showing up on the bottom of the deck, and this is connection with your divine self, which, if you are a non NPC, then you are connected to your higher self. And those people who are NPCs don't really have a higher self. They're just physical biosuits running programming. And we did talk about that earlier this week, that there are some of those in your life, and they are meant to kind of be your handlers, so to speak. And they can act like they align to your beliefs and practices, but then they'll throw some wrenches in, they'll throw in a lot of doubt or fear. And that's how you can recognize them, among other ways that you can recognize them. But remember that you are, because you're so connected to your highest self, you also have your connection to empathy. Okay. If you are a human being with a soul, you are also connected to other human beings with souls. That is the collective. That is, what the energy that we read all the time here is, that collective energy. It's like a vast network of connection, whether or not we know of each other consciously or we're involved with each other consciously. We are still picking up these empathic, hello, Culture and V. We are still picking up information through these empathic connections that we share. So remember that, and make sure that you are shielding, protecting, grounding your own energy, especially right now with all the chaos happening on this earth plane. Stillness, wait for the sign, don't rush, and enjoy the pause. Okay. Do not act on impulse right now. Everyone to some degree has been in this training program for the last couple of years at least, um, to where we're triggered or we're presented with opportunities or situations. Hello, Kara. Nice to see you, love. That trigger our impulsivity. And whenever we act impulsively without considering all of the energy at play or all of the components of the situation, we just act on impulse and we go for it, then we kind of have something backfire in our faces, or things fall apart, or certain components of the situation that we did not foresee going into it because we acted on impulse and just dove right in. Those things can bite us in the ass, right? And that can have us feeling stranded, feeling stuck. But this is the stillness, okay? This is why we're pushed into this stranded, stuck, stillness type energy, so we can focus on what it is that we need to heal. Okay. Be gentle on yourself. You are healing. Release the past, release whatever is weighing you down, going with the ebb and flow of life. Okay. The ebb and flow of your own specific journey. Considering that there's an ebbing and a flowing. Sometimes we're going to be, for lack of a better term here, more in lack, whether that's with love, money, career, you name it, whatever you can experience on this plane that you're focused on. We can experience an abundance of whatever that thing is, and we can also experience a lack. It can be physical energy. Hi, Matt. Yes, we're back already. So this can be even with your physical energy, feeling very energized, feeling like you have so much energy to complete all the tasks that you need to get done, and address all of the things that you need to focus on. And then you still have surplus, and you're able to go and use that to you know go enjoy yourself, go do something that you like, spend time with hobbies and things like that. And then there are times where you can't even bring yourself to get your ass up out of bed or off the chair to even do something that you enjoy doing. So there can be ebb and flow in every area. So pay attention to what that is for you right now. We have stimulus response that actually did come out of the out of the deck, not bottom of the deck energies. Giving away your power, old subconscious programs running the show. We've been talking a lot about programming lately. Societal programming, the 3D matrix programming that continues to keep us stuck, to keep us stagnant, right? Because you're never completely still. Energy never completely just freezes and is still. It's constantly moving, but it will stagnate in a pool. Release the need to control situations. And instead of focusing so harshly on the things that are going wrong, yes, observe them as necessary, only for what you need to address in the moment. And then don't allow those to control your emotions. Don't allow yourself to get triggered so hard that you're focused on what's going wrong or what's lacking, and creating more of that. Yes, observe it. Yes, understand that this is what I created, 5 minutes ago, 5 years ago, whatever it was, and continue moving forward by focusing on where you're going, focusing on holding the emotions that reflect the person you are, that has the thing or has that lifestyle, or has that support, has that whatever. That is what gets you to this status upgrade. All right. Money, career, achieving the accolades, this is just living in your perfect and most desired reality. Okay. And gratitude right behind that, with application or appreciation of what you have. And like we've talked about before, even recognizing the good in situations, even whenever those situations happen to be harsh lessons, holding gratitude or holding honor for a situation that may have been unfavorable for you personally, but has taught you how to overcome certain things, or have brought you the tools and the knowledge and the wisdom to know how to create what it is that you do want. So, just like you're not going to be perfect at everything immediately, right? Whenever you pick it up, there is that trial and error period. That's period of learning. That's what we are still doing. So consider it as just a period of learning, and continue moving forward. Trust and surrender control, because whatever it is that you're trying to control isn't going to be controllable. You're focused on the lack of control there. So more chaos will ensue. Deception with lies, manipulation, and envy came out of the deck. Oh, awesome. So wise of you, Matt, to spread the knowledge and the wisdom that you've attained. Um, and I'm sure that it benefited them greatly. So don't pay attention to the proof, the evidence in your physical reality. Even though as humans it's very difficult, especially with the way that we've been programmed. Um, funny. The stimulus response, the deception, and the mental reprogramming, I'm just going to show it to you, are all in a row here. I didn't even realize that. But we're running programs that have been ingrained in us from the get-go, from the second we exited the birth canal, or in I'm a C-section baby too, so out of the womb. It's hammered into us by our parents, by our family members, the whole village that it takes supposedly to raise children. It's ingrained to us by those more experienced humans that happen to be adults. um, it's kind of beaten into our psyche since day one. And not only that, the TV programming, right? The radio programming, the whatever you're consuming on the internet and games, it's everywhere, because those are matrix systems. Those are matrix tools, and they are meant to manipulate your mental energy to keep you blind to the truth, that the 3D control matrix is false. Everything about it is false. Hello, Susan. Um, so we are at this point where we're being triggered left and right. There's chaos all around. It's really starting to bring up a lot of fear for a lot of people, which plays into that mental programming that you have been working on deprogramming and then reprogramming, right? If you're on this path, if you're on this channel, if you've been following me for any amount of time, then you already know about this. So these things are being triggered for us. Things are not coming together. The Lovers card, or sorry, that is the Two of Cups, not the Lovers. The Two of Cups in the reverse. This is, just disharmony is the word that comes up for me in that. Disharmony, whether that's within your relationships, regardless of what kind of relationships, or within yourself, with your relationship with yourself. These triggers are bringing up so many fears and doubts, not only about ourselves, but about our connections, about our creations, like, jobs, friendship circles, if you own a business, if you have your own small business, that kind of thing, or really just questioning those who are around you, your support systems, or lack thereof. We're being triggered in ways that bring all of these subconscious fears or these subconscious beliefs to the surface, so that we can see them in real time and understand what is hanging us up. Because if it's being processed through our mental space, through our heart space, it is within our energetic field. It is in your auric sphere. Okay. It's actually a toric, but anyway, it is in your field. Okay. So anything that's in your field, whether it is active or dormant, it's going to show up, okay, in some way right now. It's going to be triggered. Things are meant to come to the light. Masks are falling so that you can see exactly what is holding you back from becoming the full God source creator that you are and that you always intended to be. Page of Pentacles in the reverse, right next to that Two of Cups reversed and right above that Fear card. This is, it could be things slipping through your fingers. It could even be just being able to feel fully sane. Okay. Because when nothing is working out for you, it makes you feel a little crazy. It makes you feel a lack of support. It makes you, it's unfamiliar territory, because at least the certainty of what you've been experiencing has been there for like that comfort zone, that comfort blanket But now you're being pushed into this energy where nothing is really certain, and you just kind of have to fly by the seat of your pants. And you're facing your fears left and right. And yes, it can cloud your judgment. It can cloud your manifestations, cause things to backfire. It can really, throw a wrench in your gears. And you could have had it down pat before, just like everything smooth sailing. But all of a sudden, now that these higher frequency energies have been hitting the planet. Duncan, I just let you out. Now that we've got these high frequency energies hitting the planet, which, yes, we're so excited about. This is what we've been waiting for. But then people are like, I thought this was supposed to be a good thing, but now, I'm triggered left and right. I'm constantly feeling shit. I'm feeling icky. I'm feeling like, nothing is going my way, and all of these old things are being triggered that I thought I worked on or that I didn't even know were there. So how is this supposed to be a good thing? How is this supposed to be part of the 5D shift and blah, blah, blah? Because it is helping us to purge what no longer resonates with the higher frequency world that we're moving into. So we have to express that through our physical experience. Yes. Just like trapped emotions and thoughts and all of the traumas and things that we've experienced that we have worked on, and we've done the mental and emotional work. And I've talked about most recently this week and last week that we have to express those through our physical vessels as well in order to get them fully purged from our energy. So this is what's happening right now. Yes, all of these high frequency energies are very welcomed. Yes, they're supposed to happen. Yes, they're raising the frequency, but as you're raising the frequency, you have to purge all the lower frequencies. You have to purge it. You can't hold on to those and be able to move up to a higher frequency. So you're not fucking crazy. Okay. I promise you're not crazy. And lower frequency purging is not just, with you, your unconscious beliefs and stuff. It's also people, which is why I began the podcast or the live, sorry, switching gears, with those who still consume my content and benefit from my readings and benefit from my energy, who are not also reciprocating with just a little thumbs up or a little share somewhere. You can just copy the link and not share it anywhere, and it still counts to YouTube. If you're not contributing anything to me, then you will no longer benefit from my gifts and my experience. Everything that I say, everything that I channel and speak is going to come out garbled in your energy. Even if you hear the words, you're not going to absorb it, because that's how I've said it now. I'm not fucking around anymore. Okay. I'm not going to continue to feed my energy into folks who wouldn't fucking spit on me if I was on fire. And you guys should all be doing the same. That is love. That is, you're going to meet me where I am, or you're going to get fucking lost. You're not welcome here. And eventually they're going to be falling away, sooner rather than later, because if you're taking advantage, you're already in a space of lack. So I don't need to push you into a space of lack. You don't need to push others into a space of lack. You just cut that agreement. Okay. That unspoken agreement, maybe that unconscious agreement that, oh, I'm just going to feed and pour into everyone else's cups, and I'm not going to benefit whatsoever, but they will. And they're going to go ahead and start putting out my content, my words into their own content and try to, benefit from that in a way that works well for them, while not giving creative, recognition to the person who actually channeled it to begin with. And I have a few of those. And I see you lurking. Okay. I see you lurking, and I see that you don't ever come in on live, and you don't ever comment. You don't ever like, you don't ever share. You don't do anything. You want to fly below the radar so that you can steal my content, try to copy my energy, and then benefit from it on your own pages. Okay. And there's more than one. So this is me publicly stating that is my fucking boundary. You will not benefit from my content, period, from my wisdom, fucking period, because you're not absorbing and applying the wisdom. You are trying to steal that and then benefit from it. That's the old earth paradigm. And if you're doing that, then you're just screwed unless you learn the lesson, unless you actually reciprocate or go and learn your lesson somewhere else the fuck away from me. That's fine too. But learn the lesson, because otherwise it's going to blow up in your face. And don't, I mean, you, I'm not going to name any names, Matt, But yeah, there are a few that, yeah, there are a few, and they've been doing it for a while. And from time to time, maybe once a year, they'll get a reading from me, and then they'll go ahead and try to make content out of that as well. It's absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, I'm using myself as an example for you guys too. Draw the line, put your fucking foot down, because nobody needs to benefit from you if they're not also feeding into you. If they're not reciprocating, but they are leeching from you, then they don't deserve it. And you can cut and draw the line. Okay. That is my intention. I am God, and so it fucking is. Okay. That is your power. So exercise that power. That can be love. I wish the very best for those people, and I know that they're in lack, and that's why they try to steal from me. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to continue to allow them to steal from me without doing something about it. I hope they prosper. I hope they actually align with their own path and their own higher self and be able to channel their own wisdom instead of copying and emulating me word for word. Okay. So, those of you who are always supporting me, always in the comments, always sharing and liking and all of the things, again, that is none of you. It's others who are trying to fly below the radar and act like they're not watching my content when they totally are. So, be observant in your own reality. See who's benefiting from you without reciprocating, and cut them off, period. Yeah, if we can do that with family, it's easier for us, yeah, to snip them off. Exactly. And I've already done it with my own family. Okay, so y'all know the story. I don't have to tell you guys again. But we have to stop leeching energy. That is a program too. Okay, that is that people pleasing program. I mean, you're unconscious of it most of the time, but those kinds of things are revealing themselves in ways that bring them to your conscious awareness right now. And this could be one of them, just me telling you guys this. So protect your energy, cut them bitches off, because they don't deserve to. Duncan? Sorry, this cat is distracting me. They don't deserve to profit off of you in any way, shape, or form, whether that's monetarily or energetically. Doesn't matter. Profit is profit. Money is energy. That's all it is. Okay. So if they are profiting from you without also feeding into you, nah, we don't do that no more, baby. All right. Death on the bottom of the deck. Endings. Cut them out, baby. Cut them out. Draw the line in the sand. Okay. Energetically and with solid intention, that's all it takes. And the spoken word that manifests it into the 3D. I'm gonna have to let him back in and probably right back out right after that, but he's not gonna shut up, and he's just gonna distract me. So let him in. Come on, Doug. I literally let him back out of this room right before I hit go live. So he's just being a brat. So yeah, you can no longer carry this dead weight with you and expect to ascend. Okay. Right behind that death card is ascension. Like, it's just flowing. I don't even have to make this shit up, because I am aligned with myself, my higher being. I am aligned with my own energy, and I am an open channel, and I channel truth. Okay. You got to get stuff lined up and get your script going, everything that I said, to just regurgitate what I said to get anyone to even watch your videos. So there's a difference. Okay. Authenticity is the highest frequency. When you're trying to copy and usurp someone else's wisdom, you may benefit for a little bit, if at all, but it's not going to be forever. Okay. You're not sustaining your own energy. You're not sustaining your own work. You're usurping it from another source. Therefore, you're going to run out of content unless you get with the program, get aligned with your own higher self, and channel that wisdom. Okay. Guidance on the bottom of the deck. Help from higher beings. Tap into your own wisdom from your higher self. That is a fractal of source. Okay. You are source. And if you know anything about quantum mechanics, it doesn't matter if you're an identical particle or a piece of a particle, they still act exactly the same way. They are still whole in their own right. Okay. So you receiving wisdom, guidance from your higher self, that's what you already know. It's just being remembered by you. Okay. And if you're not aligned with your own source, if you're not energized by your own source, okay, because we all of us who have real souls, even in this physical body, we have that direct connection to source through our source, our fragment, right? Our higher self. So if you're not receiving your energy from that, you're taking it from others. You're stealing it from others. And if you want to ascend, then you can no longer do that. That is old world paradigm. You can't do that in the new earth paradigm. Period. It's not going to happen. You will stay in the old earth paradigm as everyone else that is aligned to their own authenticity and their own higher self move on up to their new earth paradigm. Okay. So keep that in mind. Kindness, love in action. And just as I said, love can be, you're not going to benefit from me and leech from me and not pour into me as well. That is love. You can be kind without being nice. And people don't know the difference. Being nice is just being agreeable for someone else's feelings while neglecting your own. Okay. That is niceness. We don't fucking do that. We speak up, we exercise that throat chakra. I'm not blocking my throat chakra to make you comfortable. No way. There's no way. I've already done that for most of my life. So when I learned to protect my own peace and stop self-sacrificing just to make others comfortable, my life changed for the better. I do not allow anyone to steal my peace. I will speak up. I will cut you off. I will ignore the fuck out of you if you disturb my peace. End of story. And I don't have to explain myself. So you guys take notes, okay? Take notes, because it might sound like it's not very nice, but that is kind. Kindness and love is me loving you enough to say, cut the bullshit. Stop leeching energy from others, because you cannot sustain yourself on other people's energies, especially when everyone's cutting you the fuck off. So get right and align with your own authentic energy and draw your energy from that. That way you can constantly be energized and you can constantly give the best of yourself to others only whenever you have surplus. Okay. So that's protecting your own peace. That's kindness to yourself. That's kindness to them. That's loving them enough to say, you know what? That's not sustainable. That's gonna, make you lose energy, health, wealth, whatever. So you're not getting any more from me. I'm not coddling you with my energy anymore. You're going to experience the lack of this energy so that you can learn how to create that energy on your own. Give and take has to be balanced on both ends. Exactly, Anna. Like, it's just not sustainable, because what happens when you don't have any more energy sources, because all the high frequency beings that you were siphoning from have done fucking ascended, and they saw your game and they cut you off. Now you have no one to siphon energy from. Where are you going to get your energy? You need to focus it here and gather your energy from your source. That's the only way that you can sustain it. Sexual energy comes out. This is creation. This is that sacral energy. Creation, tapping into your own creative, authentic energy so that you can create the life that you want, not create the life that someone else wants. Do you even know what you want? Some of us, and I'm saying some of us because it's not going to resonate with all of you, some of us don't even know what we want. Truly, we don't know what we want. We know what society has told us that we should want. and what everyone else seems to look like they want. But underneath that, do you really know what it is you want? Because everybody wants to be a million, not everybody, not everybody. I get that. But generally speaking, everybody wants to be a millionaire. Everybody wants to, have luxury things and, or a sustainable off-grid, compound where they can be completely free financially, food wise and everything else. Doesn't matter. Prosperity and abundance looks different to everyone. Okay. So maybe you don't want to be a millionaire or a multimillionaire or a spoiled little prince or princess. Maybe all it is that you have been seeking all along is stability, is safety, because you've never experienced it before. Or maybe you have a little bit here and there and you haven't experienced it for a while. So you think, oh, if I get that bag, I'll be worthy. Oh, if I have XYZ, that means that I'm successful. That means I'll have exactly everything that I want out of life. But what about when you get there? Most people that come into money very quickly, lottery winners being one prime example, okay? Within a few years, more often than not, statistically, they've already gone through all of that money and now they're back in poverty because they squandered it, because they didn't know how to hold it and grow it, because they were still operating from a space of lack even though they had abundance. So figure out what it is that you truly want, because it might look like being a multimillionaire, but once you get there, which you very well can, once you get there, it might not feel what you think that it might feel like. So get to the root of what it is that you truly want. Do you want all of that money so that you can prove to others that you're successful? Or do you want that money so that you can experience freedom, so you can do anything or go anywhere or have whatever it is that you want, need, and desire? Get clear about what it is that you want, because what you think you want might not be truly what you want. And then create it. Okay. Sexual energy followed up with new day. Card number 11. And it's funny because we have card number 1 and card number 11 right above it, which I'll get to in just a minute. But you're creating tomorrow in the now. So again, get clear on what you truly want and focus on embodying that instead of focusing on the dollar amounts or the physical vessel, because you think this person is my twin flame or my soulmate, or the person is supposed to be my person forever and ever for the rest of this life and then on into whatever. Do you even know the contents of their soul, or is it just they're wrapped up in a really pretty gift wrap with a really pretty bow on it? Because I'll tell you from experience, most of them are narcissistic. And I'm saying most, not all. But a lot of the times that's what you get. And I know the women know this for sure, that a man can be all of the things, check off all of the boxes when you go on a few dates with them and you get to know them, and then you guys move in together and or get married. And then after they've either got that ring on you or got you to create a baby for them, they turn into the complete opposite of what it was that they said that they were. So again, you can get the thing that you think you want, but it might not be exactly what you want. It's just got all the right gift wrap and the pretty bow. Love it. Love your guys's conversation in the comments. Had to get a drink. So we've got 1111 here and 111. That is alignment. Get into alignment, more so by figuring out what it is that you truly want and not what, it might look like on the facade. Because remember, facades are still at place. Yes, masks are falling, and you might go on a few dates with this person and start to really like them, and then all of a sudden you start seeing red flags left and right, and then you're like, oh, I got the wisdom from before, so I'm just going to backpedal up out of this one. Okay. So pay attention, align with what it is that you truly want and not what it looks like on the facade. Okay. Because this 3D matrix is all about facades. Sisterhood, card number 1, community and strong connections, building strong connections to community, to people for support systems, but also to the things that you are creating. If you connect and align to your creation in its end result, then it's going to manifest for you much quicker. You're going to start seeing more opportunities, more signs, more like, oh, that idea is something I should act on because that's aligned with my end result. It's not aligned with what it is that I think I want, or with what I think should be the first step to get there, or it aligns with what I think it should look like. That's why we talk about living in the end result, and that's right next to card number 11, which is devotion. Sisterhood, again, feminine energy, so being open to the feminine energy. And so this isn't just talking about like leaving out my men, because I know I got my men up in here. It's not about that. It's that feminine energy, that openness to connection. Okay. So you can have a sisterhood with a group of dudes. Okay, because you're all open to having this aligned connection, and that's 111, like I mentioned, right next to each other. Card number 1, card number 11, 111. So again, opening to your feminine energy. A group of dudes who are in the feminine energy might look like they have support groups for men that have been through traumas, or that are just looking for other supportive men where they can express emotions, or they can talk about their lives and have that real support. That's what that looks like. And it's not anything derogatory saying, oh, you're girls because you share your feelings. It's nothing like that. That sisterhood is just that feminine energy being open to connecting with one another in a way where it's a safe space for everyone to share their emotions. Okay. Or fill in the blank, not just emotions, but whatever. And devotion to upholding that, and upholding that feminine energy within yourself, being devoted to yourself, worshiping yourself. Sacred worship is on the card, the God within you, because we are all gods, but we've been programmed to place everything outside of ourselves, like God is outside of us, or the gods and goddesses are outside of us. And I don't know, like, if you guys caught on, but I have said for a while that I'm aligned with the Isis energy, not Isis, the goddess in form herself, but the energy in which she embodied, right? Because deities are still placing gods outside of ourselves, and we are gods and goddesses, which is why I don't do any kind of deity worship, period. I just know it's never resonated with me. I've never done it. I will invoke the energies of said deities at times when necessary, but I do not focus on the embodiment of the deity themselves. So understanding that you are whatever energy that you decide to invoke or embody at that time, regardless, it's not outside of you, it's a connection within, because you are source. Okay. And source is everything that is. It's all the frequencies, all the energies, all of the vibes, like everything. Okay. So again, stop placing it outside of yourself, connect within, understand that these deities were only a way for human beings to personify, to understand what gods themselves were. Gods, plural or singular, doesn't matter. So that we could understand them. Just like I've told you guys in the past, if you're having an issue with processing emotions and things like that, name an emotion that you're feeling and give it a physical vessel, go into meditation and imagine it having a physical body, and interact with it, talk to it, converse with it, so that you can get more information that way, and so that you can build a rapport, build a connection with it in that way. That's why gods themselves were externalized and embodied in the way that they were, for earlier humans to understand their connection. But by doing so, they placed the God connection outside of themselves and got lost along the way. So devotion, inner worship, going within, connecting to whatever frequencies, for what you don't even have to address a deity to get that energy. You just imagine that energy and say, I want to connect with this energy. Even if you can't label it, you don't have to. Just open up your mind. It's telepathy. You can just you know feel what it is that you want to connect to, and then that's what you'll get. Okay, it's not that hard. People make it sound more difficult than it actually is. But in this way, in connecting with support systems, and also your inner support system and your spirit team, which is all you, all versions of you, but we externalize those as well, um, helps you to align yourself to this new experience. Okay, so if you're having a hard time getting over traumas from the past, or if you're having a hard time aligning to a new experience because you have never experienced it before, or it's been a really long time and you don't really remember what the experience was like, then open yourself up with that feminine energy and connect to those frequencies. Just ask for the feeling of those frequencies, and you will receive them. It's simple as that, so that you can align and create that new day in that 1111. I'm going to show you here. Card number 11. Card number 11. Okay. Right on top of each other. Then we have integration. Card number 33. Master number 33 is creation, baby. You're integrating the creation, integrating the fact that you are a creator. And so am I, and so is he, and so is she, and so are they, and whoever else. We're all creators, okay? Yeah, there are matrix run program and PC type things, but they don't even fucking matter, because they will cease to exist whenever they are no longer alive, okay? They're just robotic biosuits, basically. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, aligning and integrating everything that you've learned, everything that you've overcome, and moving forward, not in fear, but in excitement for what you can create next. Yes, Master Builder 33. This is building, this is creation. 369, Fibonacci, think along those lines. So you can say that this three, so three would be the beginning of, the 369, big first stage of creation, right? But that's mirrored and expanded because it's 2 threes, 33. So this is compounded creation energy. This is really potent creation energy. And we had that sexual energy card, which is the creation itself. It's the sacral energy. So it's like that extra oomph added to your creations, and all you have to do is align to it right now, because just like this energy that we're currently experiencing is turbulent, is chaotic, it is destroying a lot of things. Even though it's causing destruction, it is powerful, it is energy. You can harness it and use it for creation as well. So this is what we're learning. We're learning how to create from the chaos and create something new and beautiful and, much more pleasing for us than the past. Because Knight of Cups in the reverse, you haven't been receiving everything that you need, everything that's going to fulfill you, everything that's going to sustain you. You've been rocked. You've been, just slapped around left and right with triggers and trials and tests and all of the things. But you've been forged, because we have to, really draw our strength, our wisdom, our experience, everything that we have experienced and transmuted and healed, and all of these things. And, we have to get pissed off to give us that extra oomph to move into the new creation, right? That's channeled potent energy. All you have to do is harness it and use it, apply it for the good that you are creating. Okay, that's all it is. And we're being triggered. So, put in that pressure cooker, because once on a pressure cooker, the little steam valve will like shoot up, and this it'll like shoot steam, or just like Augustus Gloop getting stuck in the tube, and the pressure is building behind him, and all of a sudden he shoots up out of there. Money is a responsibility. Yeah, Holly, it really is. So, because it's energy, we're meant to be responsible for our energy, right? Whether whatever form it takes. So you've got all of this intense pressure that's building, but it's going to skyrocket us into the next chapter, the next book. Actually, not even a chapter, not even a phase, it's the next book. This is the new creation. This is integration of all of the lower frequency things that we've had to experience and had to learn from. It's taking all the lessons, leaving behind all the bullshit, right? And it's integrating that. And yeah, we're going to be triggered, and we're going to have this anger and this frustration building, so that we can take that raw fucking power and we can apply it to what it is that we're creating, and get ourselves up out of that shit for good, right? It's all good, baby. Even whenever you're experiencing a lack of the things that you want, need, and desire in your life, whenever you're experiencing, the lack of of comfortability, because nobody's comfortable right now. I haven't talked to one single person that's comfortable right now, whether they're spiritual or not. They're just like, everyone has their own story. And every time I, speak with someone, whether it's just like at the cash register at the grocery store in town, or a friend or family, not bio family member, but anything like that, everyone's experiencing to some degree some kind of catastrophe, right? Or what they view as a catastrophe. And it's happening so that we can purge all of the lower frequencies, all of the negativity that we perceive out of those situations, or experiences, right? And we can take the wisdom and we can use that fucking raw energy that's been pissing us off and been trying to shove us down and keep us down, so that we can break through that glass ceiling. Because this is Willy fucking Wonka, baby. Augustus Gloop got stuck in the tube, but now we're in the elevator and we're shooting through that glass ceiling, just shattering everywhere. And you don't know where we're going to go, because we can go, left, right, horizontal, diagonal, any which way. We can do whatever we want now that we broke through that glass ceiling, right? So it's all good. It's all for the betterment of yourself, your soul, and your life experience in this time and in others, because a soul has experiences where they learn and they grow from these experiences, and then they take that wisdom and they go live other experiences, other lifetimes, with a whole different set of circumstances, but they still bring those energies of the lessons and experiences that they had in other lifetimes. Okay. And that becomes, the how we remember as we're living our life. We have these times where we're not learning, we're remembering the things that our soul already knows. This is just kind of part of that process, but this is density 2.0, y'all. So it should be easier moving forward for everyone, unless you didn't learn your 3D lessons. Then you're going to have to go back to another 3D school somewhere fucking else, and that's on you, baby. But reunion of souls is showing up here, talking about just exactly what I was talking about, actually. It's reunion of your soul, coming back into union with your soul, but also connecting with your soul tribe, forming that sisterhood or that brotherhood, doesn't matter, whatever. Okay. It's creating a comfortable and cohesive environment for us to leave behind, because we're the ancestors. Like, we're the new ancestors. Okay. You're creating a world for those who come after you. We all are. So creating a better world for those who come after us is fulfilling, right? It's unmatched fulfillment. And you have this experience now to move forward. And whenever you're on the other side, and your descendants are calling upon their ancestors for healing or for wisdom and whatever, because the world that we leave behind is going to be a much better one than we were born into. Then we have the experience of all the dense, really negative shit. So we've got an abundance of wisdom that we will be imparting from the other side onto our descendants to make their lives better so that they can create an even better existence for those that descend after them. So, Six of Cups right above that, and this is center of the reading. This is we're finishing off here with that reunion of souls card and the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups can be past coming back around. It can be gifts from the universe, but here, especially with this reunion of souls, this is this is the matriarch. Okay, with this deck, the elephants are the matriarchs, and my sons know this. Sometimes they forget the word and they'll be like, what is an elephant called again? And I'm like, the matriarch, because that's what they associate with elephants. But and y'all know my love for elephants. So elephants are the matriarchs. She is nurturing, she is loving, she is, it's like she's looking at a picture of her inner child, the child version of herself, and looking back on that in awe and in celebration. And it's really like kind of a full circle moment that I'm kind of sensing here, is coming back around to the child version of yourself that had all these great ideas and who knew exactly who you were before the world deprogrammed you and then reprogrammed you into what it wanted you to be. This is getting back in touch with everything that you loved to do then as a child, everything that you were good at from when you were a child. That is part of your soul's purpose. I would even go as far to say that is your purpose. You know what? When I was a kid, I was doing magical shit. I was communing with the trees and with the bugs and with the birds and with all of the animals. I was like Snow motherfucking White, except I was a tomboy. So, and I was doing like, making spells with all the like stuff in the yard and different plants, all kinds of things. So I've gotten back to that for myself. But if you're, having a hard time with understanding your soul's journey and what your path is meant to be here, think back on when you were a child. What was it that you enjoyed doing? What lit you up and helped you feel alive when you were a kid? What interested you when you were a child? Nurture that. Okay, nurture yourself, come back into union with yourself, that reunion of souls. Okay, that's reunion of soul, your soul reunifying with the truth of who it always has been. You've already let go of so much of the lies, so much of the programming. It's time to get back to the basics of who you really are, because that is how you will prosper in the new world, in the new earth. So, nurturing yourself, your own inner child, and also nurturing generations that come after you, nurturing your children or your cousins or siblings children if you don't have children of your own, or whatever, grandchildren. Hey, like if you're a grandparent, that is prime territory. Like your grandkids are going to listen to you more so than their own parents in a lot of cases, because in a lot of cases, not all, but a lot of cases, the grandparents are the ones that get to nurture and have fun and not have to be the ones to discipline. I'm like, what's the word? So yeah, ascended guide sounds a lot better. I agree. I know a couple that blew through a couple million. You can't just spend it and not put into it. Exactly, Holly. You got to know how to hold it. You have to have the wisdom. You have to, and when you do have the wisdom, you have to use it. Okay, you can have all the wisdom, but actually putting that into action is not always easy for people to do. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, because you're like, if I knew better, I'd do better. Not Okay, sorry guys. The school called. So I was thinking, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to go pick someone else up, even though I have to leave in like 20 to go pick them up anyway. There's only one kid left at school today, because the other two, Leighton didn't go to school again today. He had a panic attack last night before bed and just couldn't calm down until like midnight. So he didn't go to school. And then Lucian came home with a tummy ache and a headache earlier. So I was like, oh crap. That's the other one, but no, he's still in school. They were just confirming a meeting that was supposed to take place today. We rescheduled it for Monday. Anyway, I love you guys. On that note, I will let you go. And then I will be back with you guys Monday unless plans change, right? Because everything is constantly changing and we're in the midst of turbulent energy and chaos. So I will keep you posted on that, but just plan for Monday, same time. I love you guys so much. Thank you again for supporting me, for being with me, and you're the best. Mwah. Take care.